Hi, I'm Greg Howlett, and I'm sitting here again with Erin Bates, who I'm so happy to have in my house today, my humble home. And I want to take just a few minutes. I'm going to ask her, I told her that I wanted her to teach me something. And she sort of hemmed and hawed and said, no, she's not going to. And I said, well, I'll teach you something, and then you can teach me something.
That's fair.
Yes. And so I am going to show her something, and then she's going to show us something. And you can watch both of them. But we're going to talk today on what I'm going to go first. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about a song that I recorded a couple years ago with Andy Leftwich. It's called "I Am Bound for the Promised Land," which you might know. And this is a song that I don't know what this style is, but I'll show you some things that make it distinctive. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit about it, play it for just a little, and then we'll talk about some of the things I'm doing. So that's enough to show what we're dealing with. Okay, so here's, you can sit down. Okay. Here's what I'm doing. There's a couple things. First of all, on the left hand, you probably see I'm playing high.
I noticed that.
Okay, so what I'm doing in the left hand is I'm playing what we call rootless voicings. Okay. Have you ever heard that term?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's a jazz.
Without the root.
Yeah, it's a jazz term. And in jazz, what you do, and really in a lot of music, you'll probably run across this, you'll have somebody playing the roots already. In this case, we have a bass player who is, what's his name? Mark Fain. Have you played with him?
Yes.
Okay. So he's Ricky Skaggs' bass player. And so he's playing the roots, and you can hear him. He's playing, you'll hear him play. Yeah. Okay. So the idea is, in this kind of music, or really when you're playing with other musicians, you don't have to step on them.
Right.
And it's good not to. So if I'm going to play like our normal big flower, like you mentioned, Kim Collinsworth or Dino, that kind of style, it steps on what they're doing because, especially if you play an inversion. Does that make sense?
Yes, because you're playing double.
Yeah,
okay.
You're doubling, and even worse, if you choose a different inversion, you clash with him. And I've been in the studio with bass players that just complain because I don't play the inversions that I originally charted. So the best thing to do is just stay out of their way totally.
That makes sense. Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to play rootless voicings, which basically means when a voicing, you probably know what I mean when I say voicing. Right. But for those of you that don't know, when I say voicing, I'm talking about how do I position the notes on the keyboard. Now in this case, we're starting on an F. The progression to start this song is F, G minor, A minor, B flat minor 6, and then it goes F, C7, F. Okay, so what I'm going to play is I'm going to start with that. So that's an F chord, but you see I have no F in it. Or actually, I could play, let's see, I might do, you can do that, for example, you can play that. It has no F in it, it has a 9 and a 6, but it has no, or probably more, something like that. You can play a number of things, but you don't want to play necessarily an F, and you're playing it up high. Okay, so we move from F to G minor 7, which has a G, a B flat, D, and an F in it, and I would play this. Okay, so I have an F and a B flat, which that's your 7th, there's your 3rd, there's your 5, and there's 9, but no G. Okay, so if I was going to play this whole progression, I would play something like that, maybe that, and then I'm going to A minor, and I would play that. You see, you have an A minor chord, but no A. So that's a B flat minor 6. Okay. C7. Now I'm playing a C in there, but I don't have to. I can play this. I can play this like this. Okay, so those are called those are called rootless voicings. Again, if you study jazz, you'll learn that for sure. But it applies to all kinds of different music, especially let's say you're playing bluegrass, which is you like bluegrass,
yes.
and you're playing with the bass player. So you can use, I know bluegrass doesn't have a pianist, right? Do they?
Some of them do.
It depends. They need to, right? It's sort of obvious that they need to. But if they don't use a pianist, or if you find yourself playing with a bass player, you can play those voicings. And they're fairly easy to learn. There's a couple of different formulas that you can learn. As a matter of fact, you can go to my website, and I have those formulas out there. Okay, so that's the left hand. Really simple. You can either play patterns. You don't have to play much at all, really.
For the rhythm.
Just a little rhythm, like a Charleston rhythm, like something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, something like that. Okay. Now, the right hand is also simple. It's just that simple.
It looks harder.
No, in the right hand, what I'm doing is I'm playing Pentatonic Blues.
Okay.
Now, are you familiar with that?
I've heard it.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with it necessarily.
Pentatonic Blues means I'm playing a scale with how many pitches? 5, right? Because pentatonic.
Okay.
It's the world scale of music. Basically, all folk music is based on a pentatonic scale.
Right.
So, the notes in a pentatonic scale, if you compare it to the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti scale, is 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Okay. So in the key of F, you play F, G, A, C, and D. Okay. Now, the note that when it becomes blues, we throw in a flat 3.
Okay.
Okay, which is A flat. So if you could start by just playing the scale, and it's starting to sound like this style of music, right? I can't play from this angle.
Okay.
But just play it real quick. Just play 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Now play a couple octaves.
Is this the right thing?
Yeah. Okay. And then you can play it down.
Okay.
Play it down.
Is that it?
You left out G. Okay, so F is sort of an easy scale to play.
Okay.
Some of them are a little more complicated.
Right. Oh, that's fine.
But it's 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, flat 3, 3, 5, and 6. So basically what you do is you just encode or you sync those 6 pitches in your mind and you play runs using those. Now a fiddler does this, like, your sister, whom you've told to be very quiet over there. Your sister does this probably. Yeah, I mean she does this, right? I mean fiddlers have to do these kind of runs. They instinctively know when they're playing lines. As pianists, a lot of times we're thinking more in terms of harmony.
Right.
And we don't think necessarily linearly. We're thinking vertically, but not linearly.
Right.
So you might, this is a little bit new, probably to start with, but over time you can get to the point where you're playing lines just like a fiddler might play.
Okay.
So here's how you do. You get the 6 notes. You can start just playing, by the way, those 6 pitches will work over any chord in this song.
Here's why.
Yeah, those work. They work. I can't really talk about why, but they do. Even secondary dominant.
That makes sense. I
So
understand that.
let me show you really quick.
Okay.
So I could play. You see that? Just those notes. So after a while, you don't play.
Okay.
You're not playing necessarily scales. You're playing sort of patterns.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
And over time, they can get more and more elaborate. So you can start by doing what I did, which
you're kind of going back to.
It's just.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's so smooth. Wow.
No, it's not. This is it. This is. By the way, it can get a lot more interesting than just Pentatonic Blues. But on a song like this, just Pentatonic Blues will carry it. Okay, and so you can do that on a lot of songs.
Oh my goodness.
Thoughts, questions, or?
No, I'm anxious to try it.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
So that's really all there's to it. You can play that whole song just using pentatonic. And then, of course, you're switching back and forth with, in this case, Andy's on that track.
Right.
So
taking the melody stone.
you just playing that. Like the form of this song, we're playing what is that, 8-bar
Yes,
intro. I play a verse, then I'm going to improvise a verse, and then he plays a verse, and then he improvises a verse, and then I play bigger improv, and then he, So you just plan all that ahead of time.
Awesome.
So like if I went in the studio with this, the only thing I would take in would be basically a chart like that.
Okay.
Right. And he would have a head, and then he's going to play his runs on top of that, and I play my stuff. His stuff is way, way better.
No.
Yes, it is. But
So talented.
That's sort of how you go. You just go back and forth and sort of listen to each other. And,
Right.
So you want to try it?
Right now?
No, you don't have to try it.
I might want to make my mistakes in private.
All right. Make your mistakes in private.
It's great.
But it's really simple. Really
you
simple.
made it look simple.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
It's a mutual admiration society. All right.
Yes, definitely.
So there it is. So
Okay.
in next segment, you're going to teach me something.
Okay, I'll try.
All right.